Welcome back to Real Garage. Today, we are getting floored. When I was doing the muffler install, I needed some extra clearance. So I annexed the rear floor pans. So now it's time to make amends and close up my holes. I'm using 18 gauge sheet steel for this job. Now that's a little thicker than the original floor pans. They measured 19 gauge, but my steel supplier doesn't carry 19 gauge, and 20 gauge is just a little too thin for my liking. Making these floor pans are going to be a challenge. I need to follow the angles of the frame connector on one side while matching the stiffener beads in the middle and the flat edge of the trans tunnel. So I'm going to take this piece of template paper and tape it in from the bottom so I can get the rough shape of the floor pan I need to make. So I'm actually cutting the template a little bit wider because when I put my bead rolls in there, it's probably going to pull the sides in a little bit, which you can kind of see from this sample plate that I bent. I tried to get my bead roll set to match the stiffener beads that are on the car, and this one here is actually the one that I'm going to use. So when you do that, when you put these bead rolls in, it pulls in the metal a little bit. So I need to make sure that I leave a little bit excess on the sides. So I'm transferring my marks for my bead rolls onto the sheet metal, and I'm only going to be doing them one at a time, obviously. But I'm only starting with the outside edge first. Then I'm going to check the other ones to make sure they didn't move, because when I make this first bead, it's probably going to pull the metal in slightly, which is going to throw my marks off a little bit. Matches pretty good. Okay, these are my feathering lines. So I start feathering off the tension with the bead roller as I'm coming down here. So I want to get back down to blending this into the flat piece. So as I hit this line, I'm a half a turn, I start turning it, right? Half a turn, full turn, half a turn, full turn, until I get down into this area here on my tension so it blends in flat. There you go, huh? So when I make this bend, see how this frame connector actually comes at a down angle and then goes up. When I make that bend into this piece, this will line up perfectly like that, but then the back will follow it up. All right, so I made this little homemade brake press here. And what I don't want to do is flatten this bead roll out. So I'm going to cut some spacers to put on this side and 2 spacers to put on here so it lines up with the bottom of my die. That way when I do press this down, it'll stretch this instead of flatten it. My bottom die is about 1.5 inches apart, so I'm making sure that it hits that. check it. Doesn't need a lot. So what I need to do here is trim this a little bit to get it to fit up tight. But you can see I'm tight against the frame connector. I'm following that angle. Once I trim this a little bit, then I'll fit this back corner. And the back should lay right in place. Oh, look at that. I'm using the Millermatic 142 for this precision job. It's a 120 volt MIG welder that was introduced to the market in the later half of 2023. So why is this precision? Well, this thinner material requires a machine to give me quick positive arc starts, especially on these outside corners. You don't want stumbling, poppy starts, which leads to cold welds or even worse, burn through. I'm using the Hobart 024 size ER70F6 wire, and I have my machine auto set to 20 gauge. Even though I'm using 18 gauge, the outside corner welds require less heat. Warning: read and follow all labels and your owner's manuals. I really like the way this thing's working. This is the first precision job I'm doing with the Millermatic 142. I'm really impressed with the performance of this little machine. Look at these small, clean spot tacks. I even have it plugged into a 25-foot, 12-gauge extension cord. This is the perfect unit for auto or restoration work. Well, you think that was fun? We gotta do it all over again to this side. Join us next time on Real Garage, where we keep putting the Millermatic 142 to the test.